What's up, everybody? Dr. Dork 85. There's levels to this. Hey, quick video for you guys tonight. Now that the dust has kind of settled, I guess, if we want to call it that, Helldivers 2 on the Xbox platform, to me, doesn't make sense. But the beautiful thing is that it doesn't have to make sense.
Of course it doesn't make sense, you big dummy. It makes dollars. Gangsta, that's not what he meant. Then what is this dude talking about? Mr. Doctor Disaster. You know what the funny thing is? I'm going to show you guys as to what really doesn't make sense.
What's up, everybody? Dr. Dork 185. There's levels to this. Today's a very sad day, but...
Yo, don't tell me he playing this on a flat screen TV, bro. What? Bro, what is this man doing, man? Get yourself a CRT, bruh. Like, that's crazy. This man's playing a Nintendo 64 on a flat screen TV when you can play it 4K and 120 frames on your Xbox Series X, man. Now, this is what don't make sense, man. Like, come on, man. You out here stretching all the images. You want your perfect dark, then look no further than your Xbox, man. You can play this game far better, enhanced. Why are you putting an N64 on the ground, man? Like, you lucky you didn't have a piece of carpet underneath it, man. At least you know better to do that. And on top of it, I hope you had that good old expansion pack, you know, the red one that you inserted. Not that tremor bull crap. Hey, yo, this man want to sit there and talk about how PlayStation putting games on Xbox don't make sense. When this man out here playing a Nintendo 64 on a flat screen television. Like, come on, man. You out here degrading the image when you could just play the game right here. Does Doc know this? Does he not know that you could play Perfect Dark right here? Because if he did, then why he didn't just turn on his Xbox? He needs to put that N64 where it belongs, back into the closet. Okay? Like, yo, I'm an old school gamer, man, but you ain't gonna see me playing no retro games on a flat screen TV, man. I got my CRTs for that, and if I do, I got, you know, the things that go to it to make the picture quality and everything look identical to how it was, or even better than how it was in the back in the days. Man, you're gonna have to take another L with that one, man. But there's levels to this. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get back to his original point, man. More money. Why? What else? No different than what Microsoft's doing by putting their games on other platforms. You really think they're just putting the game because it doesn't make sense? Do you hear yourself? Like, I get it. You know, Puerto Ricans, we got to stick together because your brother, Puerto Roach, he getting exposed right now, man. So you have no other choice but to defend him. I'm Puerto Rican. You may think I'm black by the way I'm speaking. Oh, yeah. Come on, man. Listen, bro. I'm going to be like the dude from Saints Row. Y'all out here repping the wrong flag. All right? Matter of fact, let's hear from the man himself. Hold on. Like I said, this goes out to all the fanboys in this community.
Every motherfucker here knows what we need to do. Now, those bitches be riding around here thinking they own these streets. I don't care what flags they flying. Rollers, Carnales, Vice Kings. No one's making this nigga scared to walk the road. We about to lock this shit down right now.
All right, yeah. Learns from their own mistake. A wise person learns from someone else's mistakes, from other people's mistakes. I think it would be a huge mistake if you're a PlayStation fan and you think that this is a one-time thing, a one-game thing. I think that to me doesn't make any logical sense for you to believe that.
We know, but a lot of them ain't saying that. A lot of them know that more games are coming. You know, this is just going to open the floodgates. This is equivalent to what Microsoft said. It's just 4 games. We know it. It's over for you fanboys, man. Y'all ran the PCs. I mean, this is what y'all doing, man. I'm still going to be comfortably playing on console because I don't care, bro. This was never going to ruin my enjoyment in the first place. Is that what you guys thought? Oh, Gamester, I've had people tell me, you jumping on PC? I said, no, I'm going to continue to play on console. Now, mind you, I'll have some form of PC, you know, architecture in my home if I decide to get the Steam Deck. I'm very open-minded to it. I don't care. If it plays games, I'm all for it. I don't even care if it's a calculator. My point is the fact that you believed in the concept of exclusivity, because that's why you left Xbox in the first place. You went to Xbox, you went to PlayStation, and now you're on PC because it gives you that little comfortability blanket that you can put all over your head. The one, you know, the one that you don't keep washing, the one that is on your door that I can see right behind your head. You know, Mr. Laundry Man. You know, that's why he's always moving his hands like this. Yo, hold on, let me show you.
Everybody, Dr. 185. There's levels to this.
See, that's him folding his clothes. You see? Why you out here talking like a character from San Andreas? Hey, yo! He talking like a San Andreas character, bro, moving his hands.
There's levels to this.
Look at that. What's this? Bro, this man talking like a Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Anybody that played that game knows exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Yo, what? Is this dude an NPC?
Install base. We know that a lot of Xbox owners, okay, also have a PlayStation, okay? I've been on record saying this. The people that actually buy a PlayStation for its exclusives are Xbox fans. I'll say it again. I'll slow it down.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. There's a lot of Xbox. If you notice, a lot of PlayStation dudes don't own an Xbox, but you got a lot of Xbox dudes that own PlayStations. But yet, when they talk about PlayStation, you guys criticize them. You tell them that they have no, validity to their statements that they make. But they actually own the platform. You guys say, we don't see the appeal of Xbox. We don't see this and that. PlayStation 5 gives me everything I want. But yet, you guys continue to still talk about Xbox. For people to tell me that I can't talk about PlayStation, even though I got one right in my hand, shows you that these people are ridiculous. Well, Gangster, you talk about the Switch too, and you don't have it. Well, yes, because there's a few things that I've met. My standards haven't been met from Nintendo. Nobody said I would not get one in the inevitable future. I'm just stalling the inevitable, see what happens, who knows. I'll buy one new if some of the things get rectified. But as of right now, no. I'm standing my ground. You get what I mean? I'm standing on my stance. I don't appreciate what a company does, therefore I'm not going to give them my money until they give me what I want. I'm showing Nintendo as a consumer that I have the power, which we already know I don't because these fanboys are going to buy it anyway. But I'm saying from my particular view that I'm saying I have the power. Okay? With this whole game key, and we know nothing's going to change because there's too many of you fanboys out there that are going to still continue to support these anti-consumer practices. I can't even get one used now because now I'm afraid that the guy that sells me one, it's going to be a brick. Like, I'm telling you, man, and that's another thing that made me not even care about Nintendo. I'm like, yo, all this stuff that's going on, man, like I said, to me, it's just more of a backwards compatibility machine if I ever do decide to get one. But let's go to this video. Crazy.
The gamers that actually buy a PlayStation and they tell you I bought it for its exclusives. I bought a PlayStation for it.
I wouldn't go as far to say that. They just bought it because, well, I mean, it's not really exclusive because it's still on PC. But if you're looking at, I would say they buy it for the games that the Xbox gamer doesn't have access to. Does that make more sense? Yeah, I think that would make more sense because they're not exclusive. They're just games that aren't on Xbox. Like Black Myth Wukong, Baldur's Gate 3 at one point. I mean, and now they're all coming. I'm hearing there's more coming, guys. There's more coming. If you guys want to keep fighting with me in the comment section and keep giving me my little salty batch files, by all means, go ahead. Because I know the truth. And I'm sitting there telling you, you will be a fool to not listen to me now at this point.
Good luck. I'm not saying that Xbox gamers don't buy games at all. But any game that does come out, you're competing against the games that are on Game Pass that we could basically play, quote unquote, for free, right? We know it's just a subscription.
It's not. Well, I get what you're saying by that. Like you buy and you have access to it for free. But Microsoft gave the check already. See, that's what you guys don't understand. You guys think that these games are just magically popping up on Game Pass, and the third-party company that brings the game there is not getting paid handsomely. They're actually getting paid money to put the game on Game Pass. Microsoft writes them a check, right? Like what they did with Expedition, and then they give them the authorization if you want to sell the game and do what you want. We just want it on Game Pass. And most third party agree with that. That's why they keep popping up. You think like Microsoft is holding these people as a hostage and saying, no, you got to put it on Game Pass and you're not getting no money? Like, come on, bro. Microsoft is giving the company the money to put the game on Game Pass. They rightfully accept it. They probably said, wow, like we didn't even have to sell the game and we get all this money at front instead of having to wait to see how well the game sells. See, this is why I keep telling you, Game Pass is what's somewhat keeping gaming together. Because without it, honestly, without it and how they're going about it, we might see a lot of games going under. Game Pass is making sure that even if your game doesn't sell, we gave you the money so you can be fine and be like, okay, we don't have to worry if the game sells. And if it does sell more than its expectations, that's just an additive bonus. Now are you guys understanding how Game Pass works? Because I get tired of people acting like the companies that put games on there don't get paid. Like, y'all keep saying this. Like, it's stupid. Essentially, Microsoft is paying for the game that you guys ain't buying, if that makes sense.
Service is not actually free, but you compete against that. So Helldivers going over there is going to have to compete against whatever someone might be playing on Game Pass, right? And guess what multiplayer live service game is on Game Pass? Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. Plenty of Xbox gamers don't have to pay for that. Now, maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't say that most people won't buy it, but I will say one thing. It'd probably be better in PlayStation's need to put it on Game Pass. Microsoft would probably give them a good check. You know what I mean? Maybe who knows? It might pop up later like they did MLB, but then, PlayStation fans are going to feel some type of way. That's why Porter Roach said they gave it to them before they gave it to me.
Because they don't have to pay for that specific game, maybe they will buy this specific game. PlayStation gamer, you're only playing Xbox games, or the majority of games you're playing on Xbox games. So then by default, you are an Xbox gamer now, right? Because you're playing Xbox games.
Like I said, going back to Phil's statement, it doesn't matter. Everything will be an Xbox. And you guys are further proving that by doing exactly everything Microsoft wants you to do.
But this is just Helldivers, and the way some of the PlayStation fans...
No, Death Stranding was the game. That was the game that broke the camel's back. Matter of fact, no, it was MLB, but you coped. You was drinking, Five Guys Coca-Cola, Mountain Fanboy. This is what y'all were doing. Death Stranding. Oh, no, Sony don't own that. They showing the rights to Kojima. No, they do. I looked it up. Sony still owns rights to Death Stranding 2 in that game. Sony was been manipulating you by making you falsely believe in the pretense that they weren't self-publishing these games either. You get what I'm saying? They were putting these games on other platforms, but they didn't make it obvious. They did it with Everybody's Hot Shot Golf. They're like, oh, let Namco publish it so they don't think that they just took an exclusive. Now Sony's like, I don't care. Now they're like, no, put PlayStation Publishing there. You let them know that it came directly from us. Because if you play Death Stranding on Xbox, it says Sony Interactive. You guys are acting, I'm shocked, I'm surprised, I can't. Bro, it already happened. It been happened. Lego Horizon, like, bro, where have y'all been? Y'all keep saying it never happened, but it happened before you seen the finale. Now, what's going on now, is the fact that with these games in particular, now it's official. Now they know, oh snap, Sony is really putting these games on here. That is what's going on, and that's why you people are upset.
Selling it is like, no, they're gonna put this game over there. Not many Xbox PlayStation fans are doing this, by the way. I only saw a few. They're gonna put this over there. They're gonna play it. They're gonna like it that much, and then they're gonna buy a PlayStation because of Helldivers games or anything like that. But still, that would have been dope when the game dropped. Now,
that's funny that you're saying that, but yet the same thing can also apply to Hellblade 2 and all the other games coming to PlayStation. Oh, it would have been better if it dropped. Y'all weren't coping with that. Not even your brother. Y'all were talking about celebrating, talking about we got the full slate now, right? Bro, see, it's this type of stuff that people call you Dr. Disaster, bro. Because you is not on the side of the gamers. You're taking this stance because you have to defend your brother. That's all it is. Because your brother was wrong in what he did.
I don't know. I have no idea why Sony is doing this. Doesn't really matter.
It's pretty obvious. To make more money. Like, bro, you say, I don't know why Sony doesn't make no sense. You're right, Doc. There's levels to this. But it makes dollars, though, right? There's levels to this.
I think it's better period. You guys know I'm anti-exclusives. I don't.
If you're anti-exclusives, then why are you making this statement? How can you be anti-exclusive and then get mad and then bring up and say it doesn't make sense? How is that anti-exclusive?
That can convince me that a game being exclusive this generation, the way both of these machines,
we know that.
to Xbox. Oh, and the last point
Makes no sense, bro. This is why people keep calling you flip-flopper. Because you say one thing and then you go and say the other. Like, that's what you do.
It benefits the game. I see how it benefits the platform. But now this is very interesting. What's the next game that's coming over to Xbox?
Stellar Blade.
Oh, and the last point I want to make is this, because I don't want to make this video too long.
You see how I just said Stellar Blade?
The same day that Gears of War Reloaded is going to the PlayStation 5. And I put up this tweet. I said, let me get this straight. Xbox is going to be giving the PlayStation fan base an old game disguised as new with the title Reloaded. And PlayStation is going to be giving Xbox fans their most successful game of this generation, right? That's actually a game from this generation. It's not a PS4 game.
Nah, it's not an old game, not a 360 remake, remaster. It's a full-fledged PlayStation game.
And it's actually...
And I think Sony's going to double back. I don't want to hear what this guy has to say. I think Sony's going to double back, and they're going to put Patapon, Freedom Wars. I mean, at this point, you might as well, Sony. You know what I mean? I told people, companies are tired of playing, remember, GameStop with another W. I told y'all this first, that they're tired of playing fake pretend with y'all. Oh, we got fake physical media, fake, ownership, fake, well, DRM is real on these platforms, but it doesn't have DRM. They're tired of playing fake pretend. Sony ain't putting games on Xbox. Xbox ain't putting games on PlayStation. Companies, Nintendo cares about physical media. These companies are tired of playing fake pretend with y'all. Okay? That's what it is. Your console fanboy feelings means absolutely nothing to them. Only the money. This is like Squid Games. Okay? Y'all acting like 4, 5, 6 trying to save the baby, which is Death Stranding 2 that's going to pop up on Xbox. Okay? You think y'all like, bro, that was a great analogy. Y'all acting like 4, 5, 6 jumping all through these obstacles. Jumping for a baby that ain't even his. When you got the father right there while he do nothing. And look at what he did at the end. That's crazy. I'm out here using Squid Game references. Look at this. That's what's going on. You know? You thought you was Thanos and poof. Oh, look what happened. You're gone. You didn't even make it to the other episode. 4, 5, 6, you locked him up. You kept him in chains. He knows everything about the game. But hey, y'all don't want to listen, man. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, take care. Peace out.